Hi everyone, welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly update for the EVE Online markets. I'm your host, delonewolf, and let's head over to the captain's quarters, to the couch, and have a look at the markets. It's the final week of August is going to start next week, so we're looking at the end of the summer, which usually means that the activity in EVE Online will start to pick up, and then a peak mostly after the winter expansion. So yeah, it's really going to be I think September, October, November and December, they're going to be ramping up months of increased activity. At least that's what it always used to be. So I'll try and incorporate that a little bit in this chat. And as usual, I'll start off with the minerals, titanium, which still pretty stable. As you can see, 650 seems to be the moving average. Some data points below that though, so 625, something like that is from the look of the chart, but pretty stable, you know, well within the 6 to 7 ISK band. And let's have a look at the prices in station. Someone said I could order them on number of jumps. That is true, but then it completely loses the price ordering. So yeah, to find the lowest sell price I have to do it this way, which is 639. I think that's down a little bit from last week, and 623 for the buy orders. So that's gonna be pretty interesting actually. If I have a look at pyrite, that market maybe slightly down now as well, pretty stable still, but it dipped below the 13 ISK band, so it's gonna be closer to 1250, 1270, something like that I expect. Let's have a look what it is in the station. 1280 for the sellers, 1250 for the buyers. So yeah, that's just below 13 ISK, so yeah, a little bit down. Let's have a look at Mexalon. Pretty much the same thing, you know, it's dipped, the moving average is dipping below, the 20-day moving average I should say is dipping below 60 ISK. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, you know, it's pretty stable. You can see, if you can look at the data points up and down, you know, the normal variations in the market are there, but it's slightly down. Let's have a quick look at the prices in station. 59.86 and 59.57. So yeah, pretty much no margin whatsoever, but it's just dipped below 60 ISK. So pretty interesting, because I read somewhere in a forum, I'm not sure where anymore, and we could expect a downtrend in mineral prices. And the reason for this is this chart. These are the isotopes coming from ice mining, and let's have a look at the chart right here. Helium isotopes way down, you know, 20-day moving average from 1200 above that to almost 600. That's halving of the price. Hydrogen isotopes 1500 below 1000. That's 1/3 down. Same for the nitrogen isotopes, and then the oxygen isotopes, which I think is the Galente ice stuff, also from like almost 1500 to below 1000. Now this is the theory behind it is that this is a good measure, short-term measure of mining activity. There's a lot of ice mining going on, prices are dropping, and so the theory is that this will also mean a downtrend for the normal minerals, but this is always delayed because of the size of the mineral market. There are so many buy and sell orders at any given time, so many people have huge stocks of them, that there's always a delayed effect. But yeah, September could be interesting for minerals if a downtrend is what you're looking at. Now of course, just this theory could trigger the event, so it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people with large stocks follow it, expect this downtrend, and then start dumping all of their reserves, yeah, it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy like that. But I think that these isotope charts are indeed a good indication. Whoever came up with that had a good eye for it. that we could see a downtrend in minerals in the coming weeks and months. So I think I agree with that theory. So that's what I'm looking for in September. That's actually a downtrend in mineral prices. We'll see if it turns out that way. But of course, for us miners, it's good for the alliance. It's not so good for the individual miners, as our contracts will pay out a bit less than what they do now. Anyways, that's it for the minerals. Expect a downtrend. I personally do. We'll see if it turns out to be correct. Tech tree market, melted nanoribbons, 6.5 million. It's been going up and pretty stable right now. Let's have a look at the Tengu then. That downtrend is still continuing, 210 million for the moving average, but data points and the 5-day moving average way below that. So let's have a look at the station. 207 million 199. So the buy orders stay just below 200 million. That could actually be its bottom. Producers won't be willing to part with Tengus below 200 million, but yeah, if you want to buy some just around the bottom, this looks like a good time still. I expect with activity increasing in after the summer break for a lot of people, Tengu is just a very popular ship in general. If people decide to do some missions, to do some incursions, and for 0-0 PvP fleets, there are Tengu fleets out there. It's a very popular ship. So yeah, it could be, let's say, a big war in 0-0, a couple of Tengu fleets lost. Buying them at 200 million could be a good investment in that sense. Let's have a look at the Talos. Still pretty stable at around 84 million, I would say. 5-day moving average above the 20-day moving average. So I expect that's actually a bit disappointing. 80 million for the sellers, 75.5 million for the buyers. It's still a pretty decent margin on those that have a research BPO, and it's only a few of those buy orders, sell orders that are below 80 million. Most of them 82 to 83 million is still the normal price for a Talos, so still a pretty good market to have chosen. What else did we have here? Yeah, I'll take a look at the Hulk and the Mackinaw here. The Hulk, after this big downtrend to around 200 million, seems to have stabilized a little bit. Yeah, so 195 buyers, 205, 203 for the sellers. 200 million seems to be the price for the Hulk now. And the Mackinaw, after that big uptrend, is stabilizing as well. As you can see, the 20-day moving average is flattening out, and the 5-day moving average, while knowing an enormous spike to almost 300 million at some data points, is now back down to 220, 230, something like that. So Mackinaw 220 for the sellers, 210 for the buyers. So they have both found their price after the last patch, but keep in mind these Mackinaws come from 150 million. So yeah, that's 50, 60, up to 70 million added to their almost 50% increase in the Mackinaw price. And right now you're looking at stability mostly, I think. What else did I have? I'll have a quick look at that medium ice harvester accelerator. Seems still on a slight downtrend, I would say, almost starting with the 20-day moving average here. Yes, it's still on a downtrend. So how long has it been? Almost I'd say 3 weeks. And as you can see, everything you've sold in like the first 2 weeks, maybe a bit beyond that, you left sold at a decently high price compared to where the price is set to settle, which is around 2 million ISK, and even buyers at 1 million. So these new markets, they're very good if you can sell them in the first 20 days, and they are also very good for trading opportunities. Just look at it's a 100% margin between your buy orders and your sell orders. So that's really enormous. The chance for profit, if you were willing to do some hauling, buy some with buy orders in large trade hubs, and then go and find some mining hubs where they're not seeded that much, there's definitely some ISK to be made in these new markets in the first month and stuff like that. Even after that, you get the BPOs you need. You can still make some money by constantly increasing your margins. These are markets that interest me quite a lot, to be honest. And I'll end this one with the Plex, which is on the uptrend, although the large uptick here seems to have stopped. Data points at almost 520 million. So let's have a quick look at the market data. A couple sellers, 500 million, it's the price right here. 592 for the buyers. So pretty stable from last week, but remember last week it went up 10 million in just 1 week. So it's I expect this to continue to rise, honestly, towards the expansion. I expect activity to increase in EVE Online in general, so I expect demand for Plex to increase as well. And I expect this price to keep on increasing, heading towards the expansion. Now, of course, not at the same rate, not at 10 million per week like it did last week. For some reason, a lot of people think it's the mining BART changes that have attracted quite a few miners back to the game. But I still think it could be a good investment. Of course, if you had bought it last 2 weeks ago, that would have been perfect. But I still think there's some ISK to be made in Plex, if you have the patience to wait until next year, because you do want that top of the expansion to happen on the Plex. I think if you decide that this is an investment you want to make at this point. Anyways, that's it for the look at the EVE Online markets for this week. I'll see you guys next time.